That's the idea of these shapeshifters. But what really are they? Reptilians? Fallen angels? Demons? Tares? Serpent seedline? Are there beings on this earth that live with us, that look like us? They have jobs, they have families, but they're not the same. There's something missing. A soul, perhaps. Are there empty vessels that live on this planet with us? Permanent hosts for demonic entities? Have these beings actually been created? Are they actually here with us? Are there creatures among us that can never be saved? Placed here on this earth to test the rest of us? Or is there something else going on? There's so many questions when it comes to this subject for me. Would the Creator actually create beings like this that could never be saved and allow them to be born on the earth and to grow on the earth with us? And knowing full well that their whole goal, their whole mission is to mess with humanity, is to destroy lives. Are these entities able to attach themselves to us, to all humans? There's also a school of thought out there that we are both of these things, that we are the seed of the woman or the seed of God, and we're also the seed of the enemy or the seed of the serpent. I have some footage I want to show you here in the video in just a little bit that, as far as I'm concerned, is definitely some of the most intriguing footage I've ever seen in relation to this subject of interdimensional beings attaching themselves to us, or reptilian shapeshifters, or tares. Some of the most intriguing footage I've ever seen in relation to this subject of interdimensional beings attaching themselves to us, or reptilian shapeshifters, or tares. So the footage you're looking at right here is a classic example, as far as I'm concerned, of somebody who is fully demonically possessed. This footage has been online for about 6-7 years now. You can find it if you just do a search out there, a demonically possessed man eating glass, or reptilian eating glass. They always use that term reptilian. It's a very popular term with all of these things. Just watch closely. I mean, first off, you can see his eyes. They're total slits, right? Now look at the mouth. Do you see the teeth right there? I'm going to show you a couple of screenshots in a moment. But just look at this man's eyes. That is full-on demonic possession there. Look at that. That is not human, okay? So there's the question, is he a host? Is there something controlling him right now? Demonic, interdimensional, demonic energy? Is there something else inside of him that's controlling him, using his body as a host? Or is this an individual creature that looks like us but isn't? Occasionally we can get glimpses of what this thing actually is by looking into the eyes, which are the window to the soul. Here's a screenshot I wanted to show you of when he's chewing the glass, because that's what this guy's doing. He's eating glass, he's also eating fire. And look at the teeth right there, guys. I mean, this isn't CGI, this isn't Photoshop, nothing like that, that's real. The Hopi Indians of northern Arizona have traditions that recall a time when their, quote, Snake Brothers built and occupied underground cities in Arizona, California, Mexico, and also in Central America. One such underworld city is believed to have been built on the west coast near the Pacific Ocean under Los Angeles, California. This is one of the most interesting stories I've seen in a while. It just came out over the last year. It's actually from the Los Angeles Times, January 29th, 1934. And the title is Lizard People's Catacomb City Hunted. Engineers sink shaft under Fort Moore Hill to find maze of tunnels and priceless treasures of legendary inhabitants. Busy Los Angeles, although little realizing it in the hustle and bustle of modern existence, stands above a lost city of catacombs, filled with incalculable treasure and imperishable records of a race of humans further advanced intellectually than the highest type of present-day peoples, in the belief of G. Warren Schufelt, geophysicist, mining engineer, now engaged in an attempt to wrest from the lost city deep in the earth below Fort Moore Hill the secrets of the lizard people of legendary fame and the medicine lodges of the American Indians. And so convinced is the engineer of the infallibility of a radio X-ray perfected by him for detecting the presence of minerals and tunnels below the surface of the ground, an apparatus with which he says he has traced a pattern of catacombs and vaults forming the lost city, that he plans to continue sending his shaft downward until he has reached a depth of 1,000 feet before discontinuing operations. Shufelt learned of the legend of the lizard people after his radio X-ray had led him hither in Yon, over an area extending from the public library on West 5th Street to the Southwest Museum on Museum Drive, at the foot of Mount Washington. I knew I was over a pattern of tunnels, the engineer explained, and I had mapped out the course of the tunnels, the position of large rooms scattered along the tunnel route, as well as the position of deposits of gold, but I couldn't understand the meaning of it. Then Shufelt was taken to Little Chief Greenleaf on the Medicine Lodge of the Hopi Indians in Arizona, whose English name is El Macklin. The Indian provided the engineer with a legend which, according to both men, dovetails exactly with what Shufelt says he had found. According to the legends imparted to Shufelt by Macklin, the radio X-ray has revealed the location of one of the 3 lost cities on the Pacific coast, the local one having been dug by the lizard people after the Great Catastrophe, which occurred about 5,000 years ago. The legendary catastrophe was in the form of a huge tongue of fire, which came out of the southwest, destroying all in its path, the path being several hundred miles wide. The city underground was dug as a means of escaping future fires. The lost city, dug with powerful chemicals by the lizard people instead of pick and shovel, was drained into the ocean, where its tunnels began, according to legend. The tide passing daily in and out of the lower tunnel portals and forcing air into the upper tunnels, providing ventilation, and cleansed and sanitized the lower tunnels, the legend states. Large rooms in the domes of the hills above the city of Labyrinths housed 1,000 families in the manner of tall buildings, and imperishable food supplies of the herb variety were stored in the catacombs to provide sustenance for the lizard folk for a great length of time as the next fire swept over the earth. The lizard people, the legend has it, regard the lizard as a symbol of long life. Their city is laid out like a lizard. According to the legend, its tail to the southwest, far below 5th and Hope Streets, its head to the northeast, at Lookout and Marta Streets. The city's key room is situated directly under South Broadway near 2nd Street, according to Shufelt in the legend. This key room is the directory to all the parts of the city and to all record tablets, the legend states. All records were to be kept on golden tablets, 4 feet long and 14 inches wide. On one particular tablet they also found the history of the Mayans, and the recorded origin of the human race, they believe. Shufelt stated he has taken X-ray pictures of 37 of these tablets, 3 of which have their southwest corners cut off. He said, "My radio X-ray pictures of the tunnels and rooms, which are subsurface voids, and of gold pictures with perfect corners, sides and ends, are scientific proof of their existence." Shufelt said, however, the legendary story must remain speculative, unearthed by excavation. The lizard people, according to Macklin, were of a much higher type of intellectuality than modern human beings, and the intellectual accomplishments of their 9-year-old children were equal of those of present-day college graduates, he said. So you have to admit that story is very interesting, and it certainly seems to lend some credence to the story of these serpentine